Russia has taken a strange stance in Egypt by backing Sisi and essentially going against the Muslim Brotherhood, which was Islam, political Islam.
The Muslim Brotherhood may have in its ranks, or must surely have in its ranks, people with sincere love for Islam. But that is no excuse for wrong policies. The Muslim Brotherhood probably now, too late, probably now recognizes Saudi Arabia to be a Zionist state. But all these years that the Muslim Brotherhood was in the wilderness, they always looked up to Saudi Arabia as a model of a Sharia compliant country. This short-sightedness on the leadership of the Brotherhood, the Muslim Brotherhood, made them vulnerable to be taken for a ride by Hillary Clinton, to make a deal with Washington. Yes, that's what they did. And then the short-sightedness was even further when they got on board the bandwagon, the Saudi bandwagon, and the Qatari bandwagon, to open the doors of Egypt for so-called warriors to go and fight in Syria. Yeah, condemning the Syrian government and supporting the insurrection to overthrow the Syrian government. That was the Brotherhood. The foolishness and the mistakes and the misguidance of that government was so great that I'm grateful that they're out of power. Their last mistake was their biggest mistake of all. The Prophet Muhammad, Allah's blessings be upon him, used a constitution to unite a people as a polity. He did that when he migrated from Mecca to Medina. And in Medina, he found so many Jewish tribes, some of which were at war with each other, and so many pagan Arab tribes, some of which were at war with each other. And over 7 months of painstaking negotiations, he was able to weld together and bring together all of these tribes in a political unity on the basis of a constitution, the Constitution of Medina. And it gave to each of these units of the state political equality with all other units. It preserved the rights and interests of each unit of the state. It recognized the plurality of the political order. It was a genius at work. But the Morsi government and the Ikhwan al-Muslimun just will not listen to others. No. They have their ears blocked. They don't listen to anybody else. They are the only custodians of the truth. And so they went ahead with a constitution in Egypt. And when the Christians of Egypt would not agree, and the secular forces in Egypt would not agree, they decided to go alone. And stupidly, this is a harsh word, stupidly, proceeded to a referendum on the constitution and to enact the constitution. Instead of uniting Egypt, the constitution divided Egypt as Egypt had never been divided before. Once the Egyptian armed forces saw an opportunity, this is called political opportunism. They took over the country. If the Egyptian armed forces had $1, because that's the only money they recognize, had $1 of integrity in them, they would have announced to Egypt that we're taking control of the country and we promise you never to return it to the people until we can have a constitution that will unite the people. And on the day that you can negotiate amongst yourselves and arrive at a constitution that will unite the people, we promise you to hand over power. If they had $1 worth of integrity, they would have done that. But they didn't take over the country for the benefit of Egypt. They took over the country because they wanted to control the gravy train. That's why. The Russian government wasn't concerned. The Russian government was not concerned about why the Egyptian armed forces took over, whether they should have taken over or should not have taken over. What the Russian government was concerned about was that Morsi was gone. And therefore, a government in Egypt that was supporting the insurrection in Syria was gone. That's why they supported the government, the Egyptian armed forces. It's politics of what is politically expedient for Russia.